Hi everyone, as most of you will know by now, I'm Taz's mum Ree. I hope you're all having a really relaxing weekend, or at least not working too hard. I just wanted to create an update outlining how things are now for all of us here and what I'm doing to try and remedy everything. Taz's brother has been unwell since birth, actually spent his first 18 months pretty much in hospital all the time with a chest infection that just wouldn't budge. Nowadays, he's 4.5 and is a chronic asthmatic with poor immunity to anything. Keeping him well is a mission all on its own. Not to mention the fact that, for rather different reasons, Taz also has a very low immune defense, and both of them will just as easily get infections, catch viruses, get sick, and then they don't seem to get better easily. Both boys are currently receiving treatment and attending diagnostic appointments out of town, which means every Wednesday we catch the bus out of here. We don't get to return home till either late Thursday night or Friday morning. These trips are mentally and physically exhausting on all of us, as they require not only packing and organising, but also walking or cabbing if I've got the money to bus terminals, to our accommodation, back again to the town centre, and then also walking to where our appointments are, back again, and obviously while we're there we're house hunting as well, so we're going out looking at places, visiting real estates, doing all of that. Thankfully at this stage we've been getting assistance via the patient travel subsidy scheme to pay for our actual bus tickets with Greyhound and give us accommodation, but we're still having to fill in everything in between, which is still very much an ouch. While we're at home, I try and get the boys as socialised as possible, so we're attending the My Time support group once a month, and then every week when we are home and not travelling, I'm trying to make play dates or go to support groups or play group or whatever's available that we can actually physically get to, that's obviously not too busy or too much money to get there. At home, I have a mile-high pile of paperwork I'm dealing with just about every day. Cleaning, doing the medication, just about every day I have to make sure that we do actually have enough of everything still. Some of my liquid, our antihistamines and that, I swear they evaporate from the bottle because we'll get to the end of the fortnight and they'll be nearly empty and I know we haven't used it all. So I'm always checking that, doing behaviour management with both the boys. Taz's brother is a chatterbox. We believe he has ADHD and he just goes and goes and goes and goes. He gets up at 4 a.m. every morning and he does not stop. He just goes and goes and goes. The motor just doesn't stop. His energy doesn't stop. The mouth doesn't stop. So yeah, there's a lot to go there. Even when he's being good, he drives you nuts. And obviously I'm working from home just to try and make ends meet and get money for moving. I make a point every time of spending time one-on-one with the boys, doing stuff with them to try and help them catch their development up to date. So where we can't always access all the therapy we need right now, I'm trying to fill that gap at home. Just doing cognitive things with them, hand things. Taz's brother at the moment wants to knit, and while he's very rigid and stiff, I'm working on teaching him to knit. Taz, it's mostly rough and tumble, playing ball, running around outside, just bullfed stuff really. He's a boy, he's a bullfed. When my sanity is getting bare, I do have support. I had a fan ask me on our page about that the other day, and I do have support. I have some very close friends that I can call on. Some of them live in this area, some of them don't. I have my mum, who I can call myself to talk, or if Taz's brother is going yabba 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 and giving me a migraine, I ring Granny and go, here, talk to your grandson, give me a break. I also do that to a couple of my friends as well and go, here, I got a little boy who wants to talk to you. Go outside and have a chat. Um, so we do that. Plus, I've got support at the local neighbourhood centre, and I call Lifeline and Parent Line as needed, you know, to get advice. Sometimes it's just a quick call saying, look, I've had a very bad day, I need to talk, you know, and that's normally it. I just need to talk at the end of the day. My kids aren't bad, but they can be really exhausting. You know, with Taz's brother, aside from the talking, I spend literally every single day wondering how someone so smart can be so thick at the same time. He is, like, he has the ability to politely come up with a legitimate reason not to do as he's told every single time I tell him to do something through the day. Yet he'll turn around and try and commit suicide, reenacting the motions of a superhero he's watched in a movie. And I could literally waste a lifetime trying to explain why he can't or shouldn't even try and copy them. You know, and I'm like, how does that, you know, logic doesn't cover both. Taz at the moment is setting off the alarm up to 25 times a night with his breathing through the night. He's stopping breathing a lot. We have got a letter back to say that his referral has been taken on and he's on a waiting list to see the specialist about that. Whether we'll be able to rush that along with his more hospital trips, I don't know. At the moment, there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know. At the moment, I just keep him well. He's also getting a lot of trouble walking at the moment. He gets muscle cramps and spasms in his legs and they literally just collapse under him. And I think the cold air is actually making that a lot worse. He's maybe walking, he'll walk to the end of our street and that's it. His legs start going and he just gives up and hops in the pram. He can't. It's actually hurting him, like I've got to massage it out and that. So yeah, he's not too bad otherwise. He has just had a flu. He's just getting over a flu at the moment. It didn't go too bad, thank goodness. I freaked out when he got it. But it's only about a week and he's already picking up. Just today I've started a new challenge with both the boys actually to try and correct their diet and hopefully by doing so improve the behaviour and hopefully save some money in the process as well. With the help of a dietitian we've seen out of town, we've drawn up a menu. So done an inventory of everything in my kitchen and drawn up a menu for all our snacks and all our meals over the whole week. Doing up healthy portion sizes with dietary requirements for both of them, including Taz's brother's really fussy requirements where he'll eat only 1 or 2 food types 3 times a day, every day for the whole week. And Taz where he just wants to eat everything. Pretty much right now my fridge actually looks empty. There's not much in there at all, and that's because the way we've designed it is the food is either uncooked and packaged in the cupboard or it's frozen in portion sizes in the freezer. So where I was having a trouble with Taz, always the minute my back was turned he was stealing food out of the fridge, eating it left, right and centre. Now it's going to be a lot harder for him to do that. You know, he was consuming more than twice the recommended amount of food for an adult in a day. To be honest, until I kept a diary of what went missing from my fridge only last week, I didn't even fully realise how much he was eating. You know, every time I was asleep, nap time, he'd get up before me, I'd go have a shower, answer a phone call, duck outside. Anything I did that took my eyes off him, he was straight for the fridge and getting food. So today has been really hard. He doesn't like me very much today. There's been a lot of, you know, more food. He wants nums all day and I'm like, no, you know. And he didn't like his breakfast this morning and I went, well, too bad. It's going back in the fridge. That's all there is to eat. And I think at morning tea time we end up eating about 2/3 of it. And that was it, you know. And it's just like, well, that's all it's going to be, buddy. You know, I need to cut back what you're eating so that your stomach gets a chance to get a rest, and hopefully we'll deal with some of these anger issues that Taz has. I am aware from speaking with an OT that it is quite possible he only continually eats for the sensory feeling of being able to chew stuff in his mouth because of his dental issues. So I have also acquired an assortment. I went to the cheapy shop and just got some plastic toys and baby toys and all that sort of thing, so he can chew on them if he so wants to. But it's also trying to get him off the food and onto them. And if he's not going to drink water, I do actually have some herbal tea here. So while it doesn't have any added sugar or anything in it, it's just like your fruit tea and that. So it's just something with some flavour. So if he wants to taste in his mouth, he's got something there to help wean him off. It's not quite a shock to the system. So yeah, he doesn't think very much of me at the moment, and neither does his brother. But you know, they both last night were up and down like yo-yos, going to the fridge. Mum, there's no food. Mum, there's no food. Mum, there's no food. And Mum's like, go to sleep. There's food. Don't worry. I'll get breakfast. Go to sleep. It's like, yeah, it didn't happen. So hopefully tonight will be a lot better, and with some perseverance, you know, maybe after a couple of weeks we'll see some improvement, both in their behaviour and, you know, in the eating routine. The other day I had another fan of the page ask me what I do when it's quiet at night. I do have some activities I do at night by myself. I knit, I sit down, watch a movie for about an hour, I come on here and do videos, and I go to sleep. But to answer quiet at night, it is never quiet in my house. Right now, the boys are asleep, but I've got two cats playing hijinks in the corner. I can hear their bells going, the balls rattling in the bathroom. The breathing monitor is actually beeping right here with me. I have this thing with me every night, and it beep, 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 beep. Kind of sounds like I'm in a hospital. The boys are actually both snorers, and you can hear them from anywhere in the house. And Taz's brother actually talks in his sleep. So it's never actually, if I want it quiet, I put earplugs in. Or I hire a babysitter and bribe them with a bit extra money, and I vanish and pretend I'm on another planet or something. So yeah, obviously, as I just mentioned, I'm trying to alter my budget and save more money so I can put more money away for moving. Traveling all the time is doing our heads in, not leaving us much money at all to cover anything, and it's not leaving us much time to adjust or do anything in a week, because Taz's brother doesn't deal with change hardly at all. So his behaviour has been off the charts of late, because, you know, 2 to 3 days a week we're travelling. That leaves us 4 days at home, and it's only barely long enough for him to just settle down, and then we're travelling again. So at the moment I've managed to save just on $700 myself since I first started putting money away, and that's in a secure account that's just put away for when we do get a proof of place. Like I've said, you know, I am applying for properties, looking at them every time we're in town, hoping for a miracle when I actually get a place, because I'm not quite sure at this stage how I'm going to cover the move. I know I can get things like bond loan and rental grant to actually secure the property, but as far as getting from where we are here and moving to another town, I'm still getting my head around that at this stage. So, you know, hence the fundraising, asking for a bit of help. I can only do so much. Someone asked me what the minimum donation is with our GoFundMe page. It is actually only $5. So if that's all you have, that's perfectly awesome. I'm grateful for any little bit. You know, if I get $5 from 20 people, that's, I don't know what that is, I'm too tired to count, but it's a lot of money for me. We've already raised $50, and I'm like, you know, that's more than I thought I'd get. So, you know, I've put that aside. It's there. The boys mean everything to me. They really do. They wear me out, but, you know, right now my goal is just getting us closer to the diagnostic and treating services so that we can be, in a more stable routine, and that support is more readily available to both them and to me. And yeah, that's where we're at right now, just trying to do my best. And so yeah, so if you could please take a moment to like and share our page, or even this video via YouTube, would be really awesome. And if you've got a few extra pennies, you could throw $5 our way. I'll love you even more. So I hope you have a great night and good luck for the new week.